Welcome to another episode of my Motor Town playthrough. Today we are here to test out the Jemusi for its intended purpose, going up onto the dirt trail in medium and getting some oak logs. And yeah, just to show you guys real quick, I also brought along my new semi-truck. I don't think I'll necessarily be using it today, but this is the one that I upgraded specifically for the dirt roads right here. Not for these ones going up into the mountain, but just for the ones to the regular logging areas. Really wish the regular, what is it, 22 feet long logs would also have a name like, I don't know, what would be redwoods or something. Who knows? I don't really know. I don't really care too much about it, but it would definitely make it easier to talk about them. The thing is, I just wanted to show you guys the front grille. Basically, in this game, you can have either, I think it's red, blue, or green underglow. And, well, if you mix them together, you can get colors in between. So I mixed blue and red together to get purple in the middle. And that's also the only reason why this thing is purple to begin with, because initially, and I thought that actually looked a bit better, it used to be yellow on top. But that didn't work out with the grill here, so in order to have this effect work out, I need to do that. I think I could have maybe gotten yellow by making the top one green, but it kinda didn't look like much. So I decided to go for this one. I think I'm gonna keep purple, but maybe do something about the rest of this entire getup here. But yeah, this is the one that we can load up and get the stuff on the road with. But before we can do any of that, we need to get some of the logs. The interesting thing right here is that what I'm gonna do today with Jemusi is pretty much completely optional. At least it was the last time I checked. I don't know if they changed anything about it, but to the best of my knowledge, anything that you can produce with oak logs is something that you can produce with regular logs as well. And basically from the length, two oak log piles are the same length of one of the regular log piles, and it just kind of works out in that ratio. So you can put 8 oak log piles onto the Eastwood trailer, or 4 of the regular ones, and yeah, I think the only difference is gonna be the amount of money you make. So the oak logs are worth quite a bit more, especially for the first trip bringing them down the mountain. But if you don't really care about this activity, you don't need to do it. I think for me it's gonna be something that I will attempt every now and again, but I don't know if it's gonna do it for me in the long run. It's a bit tedious, quite different from the rest of the activities in this game, with how it paces out, which is definitely a good thing to have. But also it's good that I don't need to deal with it all the time if I don't want to. Also from the first version that I tried, I think there were a lot of shortcuts around the place. So maybe I'll try one delivery first where I take the regular route, and then we're gonna try to go on a bit of a shortcut hunt and see how that works out. But I think from what I'm seeing here, those cliffs used to be not quite as steep. So there may have been a few changes to help keep the players on track. But we'll have to see about all of that. Also, the Jemusi got made a bit heavier with one of the updates, and yeah, it used to be very awkward to drive, and basically any minor problems that the game physics engine may have had were pretty much amplified with this vehicle, which makes it pretty ideal to test out physics changes over time. But we'll see how those go. I would go as far as say that with the first version, this vehicle was almost undrivable. But it's quite a bit better now, so should be fun, hopefully. And to be clear, I haven't really done much with this apart from the first few versions of this update. So I think a lot of stuff has happened that I don't really have much of a clue about. So in a way this is still pretty new to me. At least in its current iteration. And yeah, with how the slow steering works, it's kinda... it's a bit tricky sometimes. So the interesting part about the Jemusi is that it comes with another lockable differential, just like the Brutus. And you can pick between a lot of different things here, some of which are a bit more interesting than others. I'm mainly interested in the 6 wheel drive versions. So this is now... God, I'm stuck on my stupid rock here. Never mind. This is now all-wheel drive, locked, and low gear ratio or low final drive ratio. Honestly, I don't care too much about the final drive stuff. I basically can just put them up into 6th gear and it's just gonna go. So it's not really doing too much here. Works out in either version. And yeah, this is a potential shortcut, and I think some of the cliffs here are quite new. So I'm gonna have to see how that is going to work out. So I see the devs have been at work trying to uncheese the area here. I made an untitled video a while ago where I showed off my version of the shortcut. We're gonna have to see if it's still intact. It's a bit risky, so maybe the devs haven't touched it. But we'll have to see about it. Also, to be clear about the suspension setup, I got this from another person. I tried my own thing, it worked out for the most part, but there was one crucial thing about this that made the whole thing work pretty awkwardly. And to be clear, I don't remember neither the guy who gave this setup to me, nor what really the setup is even about, so I cannot even, damn it, give you guys any hints here. I'm quite clueless about this stuff. One thing that I still remember, and we'll have to see if it's still the case, sometimes the lock differential just didn't seem to work with one of the earlier versions. So basically the front wheel would stand still and the rear wheels would be spinning, even if you are in the same setting as I am right now, where all the wheels should turn the same at the same time. And let's just go into 6th gear again and see how that works out, because in the end upshifting almost gets you to a standstill. So unless I really need the additional torque, I might just stick to the highest gear. And I think I even went so far as to customize my final drive ratio so that this particular setup would work out well. Just to make sure that I get a decent amount of speed in 6th gear in 6L lock differential setting. Which is a bit of a weird thing to do, I think, but it's working out quite well. I don't know how these things work in real life, but I think I would appreciate if we could first up just customize the settings that we want. So if I only want to go with maybe 6 high and 6L locked, I could do so, or maybe just even have 6 high locked if I want so. So maybe I have maybe 4 high differential setting, another one being 6 high locked, because I don't really need the low setting. That could be alright. And the other thing would be to be able to set a separate final drive ratio for the low setting. So maybe I don't want it to be that low. But then again, I am not sure how these things work mechanically in real life, so maybe this would not be possible. But I think a selector for the different differential settings should be doable. And I think in real life it's actually a few different things that are working together here. Like it's a different mechanic that allows the front wheels to be powered and unpowered from the rest and just having the differentials locked, and also the low gear ratio version. Anyways, we are here, we are going to take the logs, and yeah, we can stack them up too high. Also theoretically we can bring fuel over here, which just seems to be a reward on its own. It doesn't seem to be producing anything. So that's more for people who want to do it and not really anything that you have to do in order to get another type of cargo. But fuel pays very well anyway, so that's always worth considering without any further reward afterwards. And yeah, from the few times that I tried this whole thing, I don't know if I had that many attempts at bringing the stuff down the regular way. So this is quite new to me, honestly. Also with this version, the dev has made little change to how the reset to road thing works. The roadside service to the nearest road thing. It doesn't bring you to the nearest road anymore. It just brings you back to the one that you were on the last time before you left it. So if I try to make it down the mountain sideways, just going off the cliff, I better make it to the next road down there, otherwise I will be reset back up onto the trail here. Dang it. So that's making cheesing this entire area a bit more difficult. And if you look at the top right, you may have already seen that there's cargo damage here. So gotta be a bit careful. Since I didn't hit the ground with my logs here, they seem to be still alright. We have 0 cargo damage, but things can end up ramping up quite a bit. And yeah, right now with all the logs on its back, the Jemusi is quite top heavy. And I still feel like that sometimes just having continuous acceleration, if you don't go quicker but just keep trying to get enough grip to go somewhere, it can lead to very weird outcomes. Not as weird as before, but I'm not entirely sure if everything has been fixed that was necessary here. Then again, I may need to do a bit more testing. But under full acceleration all the time, it used to sometimes just flip itself out of nowhere. And that definitely that seems to be fixed right now. We'll have to see about everything else. Oh god. The good thing about this is that you're definitely not gonna fall asleep doing this. I could maybe try at some point letting the autopilot take over, but I'm afraid of what would happen with that. Still 0 cargo damage, but my chassis is quite heavily damaged. I mean, I tipped the entire truck over, so what do you expect here? You know what, let's try my old final or 6th gear attempt here. Okay, we do not have the torque. So for stuff like that, I need to go lower, and I think maybe this is gonna be going a bit too quick for the truck here. But I wanna try anyways. Okay, not good in top gear. Oh god. I feel like I almost tipped it. Maybe we can take the hitchhiker. Let's see, where do you want to go? Yeah, that's not exactly on my road here. If I could have dropped her off at the what it's called, at the warehouse, then I would have done so, but I'm not gonna drive over to Lijo City with this thing. Okay, you know what, little shortcut here. I don't have all day. And this should be alright. Oh god, they definitely roughened up the terrain quite a bit. What? Yeah, that felt like a bit of a torque turnaround. And honestly, with how this thing is set up, I think the only high setting for the differentials is the one with four-wheel drive. I don't see any benefit to disengaging the front wheels. Not with how everything goes right here. I mean, we don't need the front wheels powered all the time, but I don't see why you would actually go out of your way to disengage them. If I had my way with the lockable differential and could just set it to what I want, I would not have any four-wheel drive option for this one. Or maybe... Okay, maybe if I want to take things on the road and go the extra mile, but that would be more interesting for the tanker version. Oh god. I tried to save it by steering left, but I definitely messed this one up. And yeah, despite being a lot wider and less steep and everything, this road is still quite tricky as well. This is usually also the part where I get impatient, because this feels like you should just be getting it over with, but yeah, no, there's actually still a bit to it. 19 minutes already, and I've barely done the first delivery of the two that I want. Tempted to just make it a short episode, It was almost tipping it over again. I just make the other one a separate thing, but the thing is the other one might be going quicker if my shortcut is still up. But I don't think it will be, so maybe that would be a better thing for another episode entirely. But yeah, this is the gist of the entire thing. If I now want to fill up one entire Eastwood trailer with oak logs, I would need to do this trip 3 times more. So that's definitely a bit of commitment. I mean, just having to buy the Jemusi to begin with, probably upgrading it if you are so inclined, and definitely making a decent setup for the suspension. There is quite a bit that goes into this in order to make it work. I tried to brake, it didn't do it for some reason. Oh god, oh god. I mean, it's staying semi-tipped for a bit if you don't overdo it, so there is a chance to save it. Okay, you know what, maybe I'll just bring the Jemusi back up and see if I can do the rest of the trail. Oh yeah, and I got 18k in total. 4.7 for the for each of the log piles. Safety bonus seems to be the same amount once again, since I didn't damage it at all. And 18k for the total trip. For this kind of thing, I don't know if it's really all that amazing. But this was also just the first one. The ones later on the trail should be worth a bit more because the trip is gonna be longer. So let's have a quick look if my shortcut thing still works. Oh god. So yeah, it still likes to flip over if you do something weird. I think I may have hit a rock there. But at least on the way up you can use some of the shortcuts. Although, honestly, overall, I wish the log warehouse was moved from its current position to the next intersection. So that if you just want to bring some stuff down here, you don't need to deal with the serpentines all the time. They are a bit weird. They are wide and open, so they feel like they should be easy to do, but they are also kind of tricky in some cases, so I don't know. It's an area where you need to pay more attention than you think you would need to, and I don't find it that fun. Oh god. I tried steering left, but it just would go, it would just keep going to the right. And yeah, this is the area where I wish the warehouse was, but yeah, evidently it's not here. So this is more of a slightly cheaty way of going up, but in the end, if it's possible, people are going to use it. And especially now that I have an episode to finish. I didn't expect it to take 20 minutes just doing the first bit of the trail. But yeah, now we can Maybe try and avoid a few rocks and go up into the mountains proper. And yeah, I'll just go top gear and see if I can bring it up. Shouldn't be too much of an issue. Might make this another slightly longer episode, but I think this is preferable to compare to just yeah, having a short one and then just doing the almost same thing in another episode. Also, one popular suggestion that I've seen about the Jemusi is adding a winch to it. I mean, looking at the terrain, that just makes absolute sense. You know what, let's see if I can bring it up here. This little area looks like it could be climbable. Just about. Nope. Sliding back down. I mean, not gonna get too much grip on a sheer cliff face, I guess. Also interesting what that little hitch thing is on the back. Or at the back of the truck there. I think there could be a connection point to a different type of trailer. I've been hoping to see more heavy-duty non-semi-truck trailers. So things that you could maybe tow or pull with like a medium-duty truck or even something like the Cuda container truck. And just have another standalone trailer that can also have a container on it. I think that would make the Cuda container truck a lot more useful. Right now, I've done my testing and I still think it's kinda not amazing. You can do similar things with one of the small container trailers and it's kinda... It works, it's fun. But it's also much more versatile if you only buy the semi-truck and then rent out the trailer. Or even with the trailer, they are not that expensive. And you can still always use the truck for something else. While with, of course, the Cuda container, you just buy it, you have one single use for it, you need to do all the upgrades if you want it to perform nicely. And then you're just gonna be stuck with it doing one single thing. Doing it well, but then again not that much better than anything else that can do it. Oh yeah, there used to be another shortcut here, but I think we've gotten that rock right here in order to prevent us from taking it. I will do so anyways, because I can. Also another shortcut that I don't think they've patched out is right here. Just sliding down this little rock face right here, and yeah, that's just it. And yeah, this is one thing that I definitely want to show off in this episode. The trail isn't just dirt road, there is a short bridge right here, which definitely adds quite a bit to the whole thing, and it's not the only special feature to this. I mean, this thing is just... It looks cool, it's kind of fun to do every now and again. And you can just tell how much love has been put into this entire area here. So gonna be really interesting seeing what they do with the rest of this island. And yeah, here's another thing, another bridge, but this time around we actually need to match our wheels to the bridge parts here. By the way, I extended my wheelbase, so the wheels are fully out by 100 millimeters each side. So that still works out pretty well. So it works with both fully extended wheels, but also the stock version and everything in between, which I think is definitely quite important, and they've done a good job ensuring that it's all usable here. Oh god. And yeah, I should maybe quickly tend to my buses for a moment. Also, none of them are stuck, which is definitely a good thing. And we are about to reach the end of the trail. Should be somewhat close. So that's the furthest location from the starting point, and therefore it should be the most valuable. I think there's a bit of variance with how much they pay out, so maybe we got a bit of a low deal for the first one. I'm not entirely sure. Also, I'm not sure if you can really bring up the Jemusi without damaging it. I mean, if it's just the chassis, it doesn't matter too much. But once you get to radiator, transmission, engine, that's a bit more of a problem. Anyways, this is the the most valuable point for the oak logs. The hardest one to reach, and I hope I can get down here rather quickly. If I have to take the entire trail back because they blocked off all the shortcuts, then I'm just gonna cut it short here in a moment, but I definitely want to try it out. 6k is not that valuable. But there is the whole priority or I don't know, demand bonus pay attached to it. And that's only been at 120% instead of 200. So I guess this can go quite a bit higher. And yeah, instead of taking the full trail back, let's try the shortcut. See if that's still viable. And basically what I always do is I go off in this direction. Just to the left of the trail there. Try to make my way through in between the trees here and in between the fallen tree trunks. Or just the trees, whatever, everything here. And let's see this. Okay, this has been made quite a bit steeper. I used to be able to just go onto the side of a mountain here and just drive down there, and that would be it. Also, the hitboxes for the cliffs aren't that amazing, so maybe there's something to be done here. Oh god, I should have maybe let it go. Now we can actually see the total road work out, not in our favor. Because we are exactly back where we left the thing. I'm gonna try again. This is definitely different from what I had done before. But that doesn't mean that it's impossible now. Maybe let's go with 4th gear. And let's go to the right. Watch for the fallen tree. Don't want to get stuck on that. And yeah, the treetop's not really helping out with visibility here either. But yeah, I think the goal here is to just gently make it down there. Not try to brake too much because that can turn you around. Also not try to go too fast. And that's it. That's the first hurdle. There's another one, but we should be able to do this without much more trouble if they didn't do anything major here. And until this point they may have not seen the need to do anything here. So this might still be possible. And yeah, I'm definitely driving off memory from stuff that I did 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago or something like that. But yeah, going to the left of that fallen tree. Staying clear of the tree down there and just do the entire thing again. Ooh, that's disappointing. But yeah, we've gotten really close before we had to reset and okay, final attempt. I'm definitely rusty on this thing. I didn't do it that much to begin with. I had a few attempts to be clear, but I didn't like perfect the method. Also, yeah, we have some cargo damage now, but then again, 100% for something that takes like 20 minutes at least, or getting 95% of a bonus for a very major shortcut. The main thing is that I need to get good enough at this so that it works all the time. That was maybe also a bit too quick because I got another 6% of damage on top. But yeah, the entire thing isn't gonna get any better from resetting. The better idea would be that every time I reset, I quickly drive back down to the logging area over there and just replace the logs with new ones. Just so that I don't accumulate damage. Maybe go a bit further to the right now this time around. Definitely need to straighten out a bit and yeah, we're down. That wasn't so hard. And now we can go back and get our reward. Let's see, it's been 6k for either of these, so that's 12 in total. Plus the non-damage bonus, so we could go up to around 24k for the delivery. It's gonna be a bit less because of the damage. But it's still quite alright, I would say. I don't know what we are going to get, and considering I have over 1 million now and I just flipped the entire thing again, I don't care much about it. I just really want to show off the shortcut, and now that I've done it, I think we might just end it here. Nobody needs to see my struggles with the regular road here after doing the whole shortcut thing. But yeah, in the end, you do this a few times, you put down a campy at the warehouse or whatever. I think the warehouse is the last place where you can actually spawn vehicles again. And every time your Jemusi gets heavily damaged, you just bring it to a repair shop in Gangyang or something. Teleport back with Campy over here. Um, just spawn your Jemusi back in, and then you are good to go again. Same for refueling. I'm not entirely sure if teleporting is really that good of an idea for this game, but in the end, if you were always stuck having to go everywhere you need to, it could easily become quite tedious. I've heard of some people doing challenge runs where they forgo any teleporting, and I think that can be quite fun in its own right, but I think for the general player population, having this shortcut thing by teleporting is kind of a good thing. Makes things a bit easier to access, and also, dang it. And yeah, I'm really getting impatient on these roads. They feel like they should be easier to do. What was I about to say? Yeah, in the end, you need to build up your teleporting network. Afterwards, it gets very easy, especially once you get a campy and basically can turn any place into a teleport location. But it's also costly and kind of a necessary thing for a lot of people, I guess. Oh god. And yeah, I'm using another shortcut here coming in from the rear. It's not necessary to cut down the palm trees here with your vehicle, but it's an option. That was still a decent payout for the amount of damage I had. So 16.6%. Instead of getting like 12k, I still got 10. So yeah, I guess we are all pretty good here. But that's about it for this one. It's a long one already and time to end the episode. So thank you guys for watching. And have a good one. See you next time. Till then, bye bye.